Hey guys, what is up and welcome to a new NVIDIA update video. So today, as per usual, let's go over NVIDIA stock. Let's talk about what is happening with this NVIDIA stock, what we can expect moving forward, and essentially my thoughts overall on what I think is going to happen next. So as per usual, if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit that like button. This is not financial advice and I am not a financial advisor. And of course, my membership section is live. That link is down below in the description, right, on YouTube. It's a YouTube membership. If you're interested, definitely check it out. I have two tiers, $2.99. Pretty much you get access to all my thoughts, post updates on Tesla, and just sometimes, just the market in general. $4.99, you get access to all of that. Plus also you get my NVIDIA updates as well. So obviously $2.99 and $4.99, not $499. But yeah, if you're interested, definitely check it out. That link is down below. But jumping right into it, NVIDIA with a beautiful day, up about 4% on the day, closing just shy of $123, which is a pretty important level that we'll talk about very soon. And I'll explain what I believe can happen next. So NVIDIA, let's talk about it. NVIDIA, obviously yesterday we had, a potentially bearish looking candle, right? Daily candle. Like I said, the hanging man candle. Obviously, like I also said, the candle itself means nothing. You need follow through. Do we get that follow through today? In the morning, we maybe seemed like we could, but we ultimately did not on the daily closure. So that candle is completely nullified. So you can completely ignore that candle. It doesn't exist. But what does exist is the fact that, like we said yesterday, and like we'll continue saying today, the indicators are still bullish. NVIDIA is still making higher highs in the MACD, still has a bullish crossover. RSI is still going higher. Stochastic is now in overbought territories, but still no signs of curling down and momentum slowing down. The BX Trender, still higher highs, still strong, still powerful. Again, not a stock I would short. I said that yesterday. I'll say it today. It's just, even though it's at a potential another major resistance, it went from one to the other almost, not a stock I would short. Again, it just looks too strong. The risk versus reward is just not bad, I guess, here, but it's too high risk, at least for me personally, right? The stock is just, it's showing too many strengths. But let's talk about this level, right? 1, 2, 3. Why is 1, 2, 3 important? Well, you can see back here, let's bring out the crayon, right? Boom, resistance and a little bit of support over here. You can see quite a lot of resistance and support all dancing right around this kind of 1, 2, 3-ish range. Same thing happened over here. And now we're pretty much right back at it once again. So this has been an area of contention for quite some time, whether it's a support or resistance, because we're coming from down to up into it. Naturally, it is a resistance. So this is a potential level to reject. Now, if we do break, for instance, let's say we break tomorrow or maybe even Monday or whatever, we break the highs of today, which the highs of today was what? The high of today was 123.24. If you break above roughly that general range, I can probably see us heading even higher, all the way up to this new trend line connecting the two recent swing tops all the way up here, the big ones, right? Which will bring us somewhere around 126, 127. Really just depends on when it happens, but somewhere around there is where I can see NVIDIA coming in, which coincidentally enough is yet another area of massive resistance, because you can see as I zoom in over here, also an area where a lot of resistance and support was also acted before. So, and that's the next target for NVIDIA, breaking today's high. Now, if that cannot happen, and if NVIDIA instead starts weakening, which for instance, honestly, if NVIDIA starts losing, even just losing 122 is already going to be showing a sign of weakness, but even below like 121.5 will be even further weakness. I think NVIDIA can start that small little correction, which at some point it will come, right? For instance, on the 1 hour chart, actually let's go to the 1 hour chart like this, boom. It's overbought. It's very overbought on the 1 hour chart. Even though the daily still looks bullish and the trend looks great, we broke above that level I mentioned yesterday, 120, which is great. I think the trend looks pretty phenomenal for NVIDIA. Honestly, it's hard to look at this trend and be like it's bearish. It's looking pretty damn good. Honestly, this is not a stock I would short. But with that being said, it doesn't mean some small corrections cannot occur. So with that being said, on the 1 hour chart, MACD getting close to flipping bearish, starting to curl down. It almost did it here. It clearly didn't. Maybe it'll do this time. But this time you can see, if we zoom out, NVIDIA doesn't get to these levels of being this overbought on the 1 hour MACD for, often at all. It only happened once and it went higher than that before. So we're at pretty massive levels of overbought on the 1 hour MACD, right? Again, doesn't mean it has to cross tomorrow or, it will absolutely. But if there's a time to do it, it's probably somewhere around now if it were to happen. RSI also entering some pretty, massive levels of being overbought. Stochastic, same idea, all the way near the top, and every time it's come up here, you can see it's pretty much every single time come at least to the middle, if not all the way back to the opposite side of the spectrum. And that's kind of where we are right now. Not really crossing bearish just yet, but man, it's getting pretty close, right? So there are some signs of weakening on the 1 hour chart. The BX trend, despite heading higher, we are starting to make lower highs, and the trend is starting to shift back to red bands, you can see here. So the 1 hour is definitely showing the some divergences, right? As the stock is actually going higher, these trends on the 1 hour are getting weaker and weaker. So the buying pressure is starting to slow down, which is to be expected, right? We've had a phenomenal rally on NVIDIA. Beautiful, beautiful rally. You can't complain about, unless you're a bear, you cannot complain about this rally. Phenomenal. And there is still a bit more, juice in the lemon to squeeze, let's just say that, which will be to about that 126, 127 range if we break the high of today, which is about another 3 to 4 point move. But again, I personally believe, at least in the 1 hour time frame, it's getting to pretty extreme levels. For instance, if I bring out my bands regression, you can see it is in very, very overbought territory here as well. So if there's a place to start rejecting, it would be somewhere around here. This would be the next range. If not here, then probably 127-ish, right? Those are the levels I'll be looking for, I guess as a bear, or just an area for NVIDIA to finally start beginning a cool off. Now, if we do start a cool off, where can NVIDIA head next? Well, because it actually ended up breaking above 120 to 117 range, that's the first level. I'd expect NVIDIA to most likely correct back down to somewhere around this general range right here. If this level falls, then obviously the next range will be pretty much all the way down here at about 110 to about 107-ish. Those are the two main levels. As of right now, because the daily chart is just so damn strong still, personally, I wouldn't be surprised if all we do is come down to about this 116 to 120-ish range, somewhere in that general vicinity. And that's all she wrote, right? We don't go too much lower than that. That would not shock me as it stands right now. Again, mainly because the daily indicators, there's nothing bearish about it, man. Even if I wanted to find something bearish about these indicators, I can't. It looks phenomenal. It looks bullish. The momentum is strong. It's an unstoppable beast, at least for now, right? Obviously, at some point it'll stop, but as of right now, the daily chart, it's unstoppable. It really seems unstoppable. So not something I would short. The Ichimoku cloud, we're right into the cloud as well, right? So, we're not finding like a massive resistance like we could have back here on this candle right here. This could have been a massive resistance right here, right on what is this, the 12th of August, and we ended up gapping it not only into the cloud, but above this trend line as well. And we continued higher. So again, daily chart looks phenomenal. The only concern I have is just a smaller time frame for the next, this 1 hour chart tells me the fact that, maybe the next few days max, it can see a small correction again to about that 120 to 117-ish range, right? That's like the worst I can see as of right now. Obviously, if something develops that's even worse than that, and I start seeing something more bearish, I'll of course let you know in the video. But as of right now, it's hard for me to imagine anything too much more scary or, worse or bearish than just a recess of this range, not too far below us, honestly. If we drop, let's say from here all the way down to that, general range, it'll be about a 4% drop, which is not much considering how much it ran up recently. So that's the main thing I'm looking at for NVIDIA right now, right? NVIDIA also very bullish call flow today, almost 63 million confirmed call flow on NVIDIA. It's just, again, the stats, the numbers, the graphs, the indicators, they just simply do not lie. The stock is just an absolute beast. But obviously at some point it will end. When? I don't know. Clearly not yet. But the 1 hour is starting to show signs of it waning a little bit, just a little bit. Now, the one thing I'll also mention, I forgot to mention this in my Tesla video, but I'll mention this in my NVIDIA video. By the way, there's also a 1.3 million call that came in. It is about a year out, but 120 strikes, so it's kind of safe, honestly. But this is the thing that's a little concerning that can affect Tesla, can affect NVIDIA. Pretty much as the market closed today, we had a massive put come in, 1.2 million put expiring next week. It is pretty much at the money, right? QQQ rather closed at 474.42, and this was a strike of 474. So pretty much at the money, right? But it's a pretty damn massive entry for, honestly, even being at the money, in my opinion, is pretty risky because it's only a week out. So that is, in my opinion, still, even being at the money, pretty freaking high risk. So we'll see how that plays out. We'll see if this actually ends up coming to fruition and this whale prints or not. But again, the reason I bring this up is because, well, if QQQ does decide to have this potential massive pullback like this whale clearly expects, that probably will affect NVIDIA, and that will probably bring NVIDIA down about 4% to my first main target. Like I talked about, 216 to 17-ish to about as high as 220. So those are the levels I'll be looking for NVIDIA right now. Those are pretty much the most simple and basic levels. That's pretty much the most simplest way of putting it. And that's how I'm currently eyeballing it right now, right here. So yeah, with all that being said and done, ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoy, don't forget to hit that like button, and I will see you for the next video. So until then, peace.